all of the updates for you here on NewsX World. But we now move to North America, and the US is set to unveil sweeping new tariffs today. President Donald Trump has called April the 2nd Liberation Day, a major shift in US trade policy. Reports say a 20% tariff could hit most imports, with a 25% duty on auto imports taking effect today. The White House says the days of America being ripped off are over. Let's listen in to what the White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has said on the matter.
But those days of America, beginning tomorrow, being ripped off are over. American workers and businesses will be put first under President Trump, just as he promised on the campaign trail. The president's historic action tomorrow will improve American competitiveness in every area of industry, reduce our massive trade deficits, and ultimately protect our economic and national security. President Trump's economic vision is rooted in common sense. America will offer companies the lowest taxes, energy costs, regulations, if they make their products right here in the United States and hire American workers for the job. It's simple. If you make your product in America, you will pay no tariffs. The president said last night he has made a decision and a determination. I was with him in the Oval Office earlier, and he is going to announce that decision tomorrow. I don't want to get ahead of the president. This is obviously a very big day. He's with his trade and tariff team right now, perfecting it to make sure this is a perfect deal for the American people and the American worker, and you will all find out in about...
Well, nations are responding. Canada says it is ready to strike back. Prime Minister Mark Carney says Ottawa will be very deliberate in its response if the US moves ahead with tariffs. He warns that Canada will not be weakened. Let's listen in to the new Canadian Prime Minister.
President Trump is in the process of trying to fundamentally restructure the US economy, and that means that our economy here needs to change dramatically as well. And as I made clear to President Trump in our call last week, I will reject all attempts to weaken Canada, all attempts to wear us down, to break us down so that America can own us. As you know, I spoke with the President last week. We had a very constructive, very productive conversation. Part of that conversation included two commitments. The first was that after the election, the Government of Canada and the Government of the United States President and the next Prime Minister, which I hope will be me. I'm working hard every day to be that person, but we will sit down, those individuals will sit down and begin comprehensive negotiations. That's the first thing. The second thing we agreed was that our principals, our ministers, would be in close contact during this period. And that is the case. As I also mentioned to the President and was very clear, we will respond to additional measures. So we will put in place retaliatory measures if there are additional measures put.
Well, we've heard there from one of the US's border nations. Mexico, however, is taking a different approach. President Claudia Sheinbaum says Mexico won't engage in tit-for-tat trade wars, but will respond strategically. She also announced more extraditions of suspected drug traffickers to the United States. Let's hear what President Sheinbaum had to say.
Porque eso siempre lleva a una mala situación. Por supuesto que se toman medidas, porque se toman medidas del otro lado. Pero tiene que continuar el diálogo. No es un asunto de me pusiste, te pongo, sino de qué es lo mejor para México y cómo afrontar.
With global markets on edge, Trump is set to reveal his plan from the White House Rose Garden at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Staying in North America, and the Trump administration has begun slashing jobs at major US health agencies. Sources say thousands of employees at the CDC, FDA and the NIH have been fired as part of a plan to cut 10,000 health jobs. The move is backed by President Trump and billionaire Elon Musk, aiming to shrink federal staffing. On Tuesday, staff lined up outside a health department building in Washington, D.C. Reports say some were turned away after presenting their badges. Others received emails confirming their termination. Among those affected are workers from the CDC's immunisation and mental health divisions. One source says that cuts include staff handling the federal measles outbreak response. The Department of Health and Human Services has yet to comment on the layoffs. Well, that is all that we have time for, but we will continue to bring you more of the latest breaking news from across the world.